The Americans are soaring high at Roland Garros this year as 8 U.S. singles players are into the second week. And this is the first time we've had this many in 40 years. But how many stars and stripes will we see in the quarterfinals? Also, a lot of the top women's title favorites have some tough round 4 matches. Are we in danger of any upset? Bonjour, je m'appelle Christian Basnight, and welcome to Christian's Court, where I cover tennis from all angles. If you have not yet already, make sure you subscribe and click the notification bell so you are notified whenever I post my Day 8 recap video. So we cannot have this many Americans in the 4th round without the top dog Coco Gauff coming through. She scrapped by Maria Boskova in straight sets, although it was a little bit of a tough one, winning it 6-1, 7-6. Coco played phenomenal in the opening set. She played very much within herself, and she finished with 10 winners to 4 unforced errors. And I was like, okay, Coco's actually going to have like a really good, solid performance from start to finish without much trouble. But the second set was really a complete struggle fest. Boskova, giving her credit, she did well to make this more of a tricky match, as she did well to vary the heights and pace of shot, and Coco really didn't know how to handle it at times. Coco's serving level also dipped tremendously in the second set, which bled into other facets of her game. Things looked real scary for Coco as she was down 5-3 30 love in that second set, although there she did get help from Marie, who showed some nerves, to be honest, clearly, but credit to Coco still for playing well to finish off the match. She won the last 11 of 14 points, I believe, to close out this match. I said Boskova would test Coco in my previous video, but I thought that Coco will ultimately be fine, especially since Marie doesn't have a strong serve, and that's exactly what we saw here today. Coco, she played much better on her return games because Boskova's serve is weak, so she was more able to start on the upper hand, on the front foot. There were 8 breaks of serve in a row in the second set, which is just crazy, and I think that for sure Coco would have been in trouble if Marie had a solid serve. And you can say the same thing for Coco's second round match. I said the exact same thing, really. Now, Gauff's 4th round opponent, Ekaterina Alexandrova, does have a good serve though, and the 20th seed has been pretty tough all tournament. Ekaterina has only dropped 13 games thus far at Roland Garros, and she just came off a 3rd round win over Veronika Kudermetova, winning it 6-2, 6-2. Coco leads the head-to-head with Ekaterina 3-1, and all 3 of her wins though were pretty tight over the Russian. These two have never played before on the clay, and Ekaterina is for sure a very solid player, great ball striker, and she has the game to trouble Coco. Coco definitely needs to play her best match of the tournament by far if she wants to get into the quarterfinals. This could be the tight, close call match for Coco that she needs to kind of elevate. I don't know if Boskova was enough for her, even though things were to kind of nip and tuck at times. I think Coco needs a real quality opponent to kind of force her level to rise. Still, I think that Coco will win this one. I think that she'll be tested, but I think that she'll win it because, for one, Gauff will be a step up in class for Alexandrova, just like it'll be the same for vice versa. But I think that Coco is going to be more consistent and overall more solid from the ground compared to Alexandrova's previous opponents. This is also Alexandrova's just her second slam 4th round appearance, and she's playing for her maiden slam quarterfinal. She has the reputation of being choke prone at times, and maybe that 500 title in Linz could possibly help her and give her the confidence for her to do her big one. But still, I think when the going gets tight, Ekaterina might crumble and choke. So I'm going to be having Coco win this in 3 sets. Now, Gauff is not the only top seed woman who has a tough 4th round match. Aryna Sabalenka faces Amanda Anisimova in the round of 16. Sabalenka defeated Olga Danilovic 6-2, 6-3, while Anisimova got a very good win over 22nd seed Clara Tauson 7-6, 6-4. This is an intriguing matchup because Anisimova does lead the head-to-head 5-2, and she leads the head-to-head 3-1 on the clay. Sabalenka did win the last meeting on clay in Rome back in 2022. Aryna also won their last meeting at a slam stage, the 2024 Australian Open 4th round, by a score of 6-3, 6-2. Anisimova did get their last meeting in Toronto last year en route to the final. She won that convincingly 6-4, 6-2, although Aryna was still kind of on the comeback trail from her shoulder and wasn't at her A level. Anisimova has the game to for sure challenge Sabalenka, as evident from the head-to-head. But when you look at the players who have beaten Sabalenka and have had success, Keys, Alexandrova, Tauson, Ostapenko, they're all big hitters that can kind of low-key take the racket out of Sabalenka's hands at times. Anisimova didn't have the best clay lead-up to Roland Garros, but she seemed seems to be in top form right now. And I think Amanda is at least walking away with the set in this match. She needs to be opportunistic, though, which is difficult against Sabalenka, who's one of the most clutch players of the time right now. Still, I think that Sabalenka will find that different gear when she needs to find it. And I think she'll be fully aware of the challenge that Amanda presents. And I believe that she will be hungry for revenge. Also, Sabalenka hasn't not made a slam quarterfinal in about 3 years now. So that's another facet for her. She just knows, again, how to bring it when she needs to at this part of a slam. So I will have her make it out in 3 sets. Then we have a blockbuster match again between Iga Swiatek and Aryna Rybakina. Iga won her 24th straight Roland Garros match with a scrappy 6-2, 7-5 win over Jacqueline Christian in the 3rd round. And coincidentally enough, Iga just turned 24 today, so happy birthday to her. Iga will be relieved to face Rybakina, though, even though Aryna is a tough opponent, because Swiatek could have faced Ostapenko in the round of 16 hadn't not Rybakina beaten Aryna. And we all know that Aryna has a 6-0 head-to-head record over the Polish woman. Rybakina does have a lot of confidence, though, right now. She just is coming off a win, beating Ostapenko 6-2, 6-2 very convincingly, but she's also riding a 7-match win streak from the title in Strasbourg. The head-to-head between these two is tied at 4 apiece. Aryna won their first 3 out of 4 meetings, while Iga has now taken the last 3 out of 4 meetings. Swiatek won their last match, which was on hard court at the United Cup semifinals at the start of the year, by a scoreline of 7-6, 6-4. Although Aryna is actually 2-0 on clay against Swiatek, and she's the only woman to have more than 1 win over Iga on the clay. But there are a few caveats to those wins. First, the Rome 2023 win in the quarterfinals. Iga retired at 2-all in the 3rd set due to an injury. And then the Stuttgart semifinals, Aryna did very well to win that match. Full credit to her. But the conditions there are definitely a lot different from an outdoor clay match like at Roland Garros, as the faster indoor clay for sure suits Rybakina's game more. Iga has the edge right now from the conditions perspective, as again, the slower clay at Roland Garros makes it harder for Rybakina to hit through her, and then just Iga feels a lot more comfortable at Roland Garros being the 4-time champion. Looking back at their last match at the United Cup, Iga did a phenomenal job with her defensive skills and drawing in errors from Rybakina in crucial moments. I think the first set will be extremely crucial for Rybakina here in this match. In her last 2 losses against Swiatek, she was in control of the opening set. In the United Cup semifinal, she led 5-3, and I believe in the Doha final from 2024, she led 4-1 in the first set, and she also led more too, but she was unable to close that one out. And then Iga kind of ran away with it in the end of the second set. I think that Aryna does have a solid chance for sure. I was not that much impressed by what I saw from Iga in that Christian match, and I think that if Jacqueline had a little bit more moxie, she could have for sure pushed it to 3. Rybakina does have the type of game to challenge Swiatek for sure, even on the clay. We saw Danielle Collins beat Iga even on the slower clay of Rome. I think that Rybakina, again, she can do it, but she needs to win that first set. If she doesn't win the first set, I don't see her winning this match. But still, even if Rybakina wins the first set herself, I'm not so sure that it'd be enough to beat Iga. Obviously, it's a very important match for Swiatek, and I believe a win like this over Rybakina could be the win that she needs to kind of turn around her season. This one is going to be very interesting for sure. I did have these two coming through to play each other before the tournament started, and there in my tournament preview, I had Iga winning it, so I'm going to be sticking with Swiatek to make the quarterfinals once again. Jasmine Paolini and Qin Wenjuang also have some pretty challenging 4th-round matches. Jasmine, she will play against Alina Svitolina, and I picked Svitolina to beat Paolini before the tournament started, as she also beat Jasmine at the Australian Open in the 3rd round, so Paolini will be seeking revenge here. Although I might be going back on that initial Svitolina pick because, in my opinion, Paolini has looked the stronger of the two this tournament thus far. Also, I gotta mention, there was this very funny moment after Jasmine and Sada Irani's doubles match as she tossed a towel to a fan, but the fans were fighting too much and Paolini was not having it, and she snatched the towel from the fans who were fighting and gave it to somebody else. Just what a boss moment there from Paolini. Then next with Qin Wenjuang and Lyudmila Samsonova, Zhang leads the head-to-head 3-2 against the Russian, although most of their meetings were on hard courts. And Qinwen dominated their lone meeting on clay 3-2. Like Ekaterina Alexandrova, Samsonova is going to be playing for her maiden slam quarterfinals, so I think that combined with the Qinwen clay advantage and that, I have Jung winning this one in 2 sets. Coco, of course, is not the only American woman into the 4th round. Her former doubles partner, Jessica Pegula, got revenge over Marketa Vondrousova, winning it 3-6, 6-4, 6-2. I said she got revenge because Vondrousova won their last meeting at the 2023 Wimbledon quarterfinals despite holding a 4-1 lead. Pegula did. Jessie has a great chance to make her second quarterfinal in Paris as she now faces the unseeded Loïs Bosson, who beat fellow French wildcard Elsa Jacquemot 6-3, love 6-7-5. Bosson for sure got the last laugh over Harriet Dart. If you don't remember, Dart was the one who said that Bosson stunk during their match. And not only did Bosson win that match against Harriet, but she is into her first Slam second week. And this is her first Slam main draw appearance. And Dart has played I don't know how many Slam main draws, and she still has not made a second week. So she might not smell as good, but she's playing better than Dart. So I would rather smell bad and play better. That's all I gotta say. Anyways, I heavily favor Pegula in this match. Not only does she have a lot more experience than Bosson, this will be by far Lois's biggest match of her career, but Bosson did have a left hamstring issue during this round 3 match, and Jessie said herself that she will handle the crowd just fine, and I trust her words. I have her winning this one in 2 sets. We are guaranteed to have an American woman in the quarterfinals as Hailey Baptiste will take on Madison Keys. This will be Baptiste's first Slam second week appearance after she defeated Jessica Buzas-Minero 7-6, 6-1. And Baptiste avenged 2 Americans, Navarro and Robert Montgomery, who lost to the Spaniard, and she's now up to 58 in the live ranking. So I'm so happy for Hailey that she's having this moment. She's very much deserving of it. She's very talented, and hopefully this is the first of many Slam second week appearances for her. Madison Keys, meanwhile, we nearly lost her, and she keeps her calendar Slam hopes alive. She beat fellow Australian Open champion Sofia Kenin 4-6, 6-3, 7-5. This was a truly clutch win for Maddie as she came back from love 3 down in the 3rd set, and she saved 3 match points at 4-5 to beat Kenin. There's just something now about Maddie just coming up with the clutch goods in the Slams, because this was, again, absolutely incredible win from her. On the first match point that she faced, she hit a crazy good kick serve that Kenin couldn't handle. On the second match point, she just overpowered Sonia in a rally. And then on the third match point, she had a crazy clutch backhand cross-court winner. And I say that's clutch too because Keys' backhand was off for pretty much most of the match, but she came up with the goods when she needed it. There's just really nothing Kenin could have done better on those match points. So it's tough luck, but at least Kenin can walk away knowing that, again, Keys was just too good on those match points. Looking ahead to Baptiste and Keys, Maddie is going to be the favorite for me. Baptiste, I think she can do it. She's beaten Maddie before, and she nearly won their Indian Wells match from last year, but I got to go with Maddie because, for one, she has more experience, and she's going to be even more dangerous, too, after saving all those match points. And we very well could have witnessed Maddie save those match points and then go on to win the title. I wouldn't be surprised. Our other 4th round match would be between 2 really good friends, Mira Andreeva and Daria Kasatkina. Andreeva dominated Yulia Putintseva 6-3, 6-1, while Kasatkina got a really, really good win over Paula Badosa 6-1, 7-5. The last time these two faced off, it was the Ningbo final, which Mira really should have won, but Kasatkina just had a little bit more experience and came through there. I think this will be the stage where Andreeva gets her revenge. Even though Daria has been playing better this tournament, Mir's playing even better than her. So I have her coming through to make another Roland Garros quarterfinal. The top women have really been doing their big ones this tournament because all 8 women's seeds are into the 4th round. And I believe this is the first time we've had this in like 20 years. Now the question is, will we have all of them make the quarterfinals? I think there's a great chance that we will. I think I might have picked all 8 seeds to win, actually, now that I think about it. So yeah, it would be interesting to see what happens and how that plays out. Now, talking about the man, I know the fans who paid money to watch the action on Suzanne Lenglen are going to be disputing the charge for their bank because there was just not much going on there for the men. Jannik Sinner absolutely laid the hammer down against Yuri Lehecka, winning 6-love, 6-1, 6-2. This was an insane performance from Sinner, who finished with 31 winners to just 9 unforced errors. Now, the most hyped match of the day was a letdown as Jack Draper totally dominated 18-year-old phenom Joao Fonseca 6-2, 6-4, 6-2. I knew Joao would not win this match. I thought it would just be too much of a step up in class for him, despite his straight sets wins over Hurkacz and Pierre-Hugues Herbert. Draper also won their first match from this year in Indian Wells 6-4, 6-love. And I also think Jack had a little bit of a chip on his shoulder coming into this match because he heard Coco Vandeweghe bet against him when him him and Joao were playing for Indian Wells. And ever since then, according to Steve Weissman, whenever Jack comes to the Tennis Channel desk, he asks, "Are y'all going to bet against me now? How's Joao doing? What tournament is he playing in?" Something around those lines. So I'm not surprised that Jack came out and played his best match of the tournament thus far. Now, I was surprised at how many shots that Joao let go by, including like drop shots too. I think that maybe he doesn't have the physicality right now to match a Draper again, but give him like 2-3 years and I could see him winning this type of match for sure. Jack has some really good stats in this one too. 32 winners to just 20 unforced errors. Now we are one match away from a blockbuster Sinner Draper quarterfinal. Jannik plays Andrei Rublev, who got a walkover win from Alter Fils, who suffered a back injury. Reportedly, Fils is in danger of missing the Wimbledon tournament due to a stress fracture in his back. So well wishes to him. And I know that John and Munar will be feeling some type of way, will be feeling foolish really, as he accused Fils of just cramping and not having an actual back injury during their second round match. Jack meanwhile plays Alexander Bublik, who ended the run of Enrique Roca in straight sets. Jannik holds a 6-3 head-to-head record over Rublev, while Jack is 2-0 over Bublik, and I think that we will see that Sinner Draper quarterfinal. Another blockbuster quarterfinal I think we will see is Novak Djokovic against Alexander Zverev. Novak dominated qualifier Filip Misolic 3-4-2, and he now plays Brit Cam Norrie. Those two played last week actually in the Geneva semifinals where Novak won in 3 sets. Cam is playing well and he did beat Medvedev in the first round, but I'm going to be favoring Novak to win this one about 3-4 sets. Zverev meanwhile ended Flavio Coboli's 7-match win streak, winning 6-2, 7-6, 6-1. Alexander played well for sure. I think Flavio though could have at least won a set. The Italian is now 0-13 in sets against top 10 players, so I think that there's a little bit of a mental thing going on with him and facing the German here. Zverev now plays Talon Griekspoor, who defeated 21-year-old American Ethan Quinn in 5 hard-fought sets. Shout out to Ethan for a great run to this stage. He just came off a 5-set battle over Shevchenko, so for him to push Griekspoor like that is a testament to just how much of a fighter he is. And I think that we'll see him return on this stage at a major later on in his career. Every time Zverev and Griekspoor play, it's just always a battle. Talon won their Indian Wells match, but he will be looking for revenge still as he fumbled a 4-1 double break lead against Zverev in the 5th set when they played here at Roland Garros last year. But with the way that Zverev is playing and Talon coming off the 5-set match, I'm going to be siding with the German here again to win this one in about 4 or 5 sets. Now, for the first time in 20 years, we have 3 American men making it to the 4th round at Roland Garros. We have Tommy Paul, Ben Shelton, and Frances Tiafoe, who are also here for the first time at this slam, and they're going to be for sure wanting to go one round further and make the quarterfinals. I think Frances Tiafoe has the best shot at doing so. He's coming off a really solid straight sets win over his compatriot Sebastian Korda, and he only dropped serve 1 time this tournament, I believe. I say he has the best shot because he's coming up against the unseeded Daniel Altmaier, who did knock out Taylor Fritz in the first round. Tiafoe leads the head-to-head 2-0, but both matches could have gone either way against Altmaier. Tiafoe, he will be the big favorite here. He knows it's going to be a really big opportunity, so maybe he might not bring his level as much, knowing that a lot is on the line for him. But still, I think that with how he's been playing, even if he does have a slight level drop, it'll be enough to get him through this match against Altmaier. Next is Tommy Paul. He faces Alexei Popyrin, and he's coming off back-to-back 5-set wins against Martin Fucsovics and Karen Khachanov. Paul should be the heavy favorite coming into this one. He's a much better clay court player compared to the Aussie. Alexei has never made it to a slam quarterfinal to himself, so there's something mental going on with him too to maybe get over that hump. But Tommy has dealt with physical issues in the last 2 rounds. It can't be denied. And the question is, will he be 100%? The physical issues, if he's not 100%, Popyrin can for sure take advantage, so I don't know. But Tommy, he's shown that dogged mentality. He's shown he is a machine. So I think that he will recover enough to get the win over the Aussie. And then last but not least, Ben Shelton has the toughest task in facing the defending champion, Carlos Alcaraz. Alcaraz has a 2-0 head-to-head advantage over Ben, although this would be their first meeting on clay, which further favors Alcaraz's odds. But anyways, Carlos did show a tad bit of vulnerability against Demir Zhumer, who pushed him to 4 relatively tight sets. Ben Shelton, meanwhile, looked real strong in his straight sets win over Matteo Gigante, who beat Tsitsipas in the second round. I think Ben has a shot to get a set or maybe two against Carlos, but you still can't bet against the defending champ, who is by far the best player on the clay. So I'm having Alcaraz win this in 4 sets. Looking ahead to the day 8 order of play, we have a lot of really tough and intriguing matchups. Paolini Svitolina open play on Chatrier, followed by Rybakina and Swiatek, and then Shelton, Alcaraz, and then rounding that up as Musetti against Rune, that's just such a blockbuster Philippe Chatrier. If you're not on Chatrier, where the heck can you go? Like, that's a really great lineup. Suzanne Lenglen is good too now. Popyrin and Paul open play there, followed by Samsonova and Qinwen Zheng. Then it's Sabalenka against Anisimova, and then to round things out, on the evening session is Tiafoe against Altmaier. That's all I have for this Roland Garros Day 7 recap, and let me know in the comments how many Americans you believe will make it through to the quarterfinals. And also, will Coco, Aryna, and Iga survive and make the quarterfinals? Again, make sure you subscribe and click that notification bell so you are notified whenever I post my thoughts for Day's 8 order of play. Thank you all so much for watching and for your support, and I'll see you all next time here on Christian's Court.